In recognition of a talent lost, we're talking movies. We're talking Copland, starring Sylvester Stallone, Harvey Keitel, and the late Ray Liotta. Written and directed by James Mangold. Don't shut me out, Ray. You found us a little town. You got us the low interest. And I'm grateful. But don't you forget who it was that you came to 2 years ago to cover your ass.
Yeah, well, you know what? Being right's not a bulletproof vest, Freddy.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of How'd You Like That Movie? We're going to be talking about the 1997 film Copland, mostly to the fact that, unfortunately, Ray Liotta has passed on May 26th. He died in his sleep at the age of 67. So this episode is basically dedicated to him. And, you know, he came to fame through Goodfellas. So, yeah, this is to you, Ray. Scott, take us away.
All right. So in terms of this film in general, this is one of my favorite ensemble films.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good ensemble film.
Yeah, it's like everybody, no one was overplaying each other, and it was just like the perfect fucking chemistry. And
do you want to just like list the fucking cast, like how ensemble A-list this is? Like, do you want to hit that first?
Yeah, so we got Stallone, Keitel, Liotta, we got De Niro, we got Janine Garofalo, we got Robert Patrick, we got Michael Rappaport, Kathy Moriarty,
Pete Berg,
who himself is like a really good director. I don't think he gets enough credit, but
this is very true.
You got Eddie Falco that was in like a scene, and then Frank Vincent, who was also in The Sopranos, was in a scene.
Well, and there's also a bunch of people from Casino in there as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say Annabella Scorina. I apologize if I mispronounced her name. But yeah, it is and I think this film was only made for like 19 million or something like that. Like it was a low budget. Like, I'm assuming you have the budget, right?
Yeah, it's 15 million. Did 64 at the box office, so it made its money back. But it was made for 15 million with that cast.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's
impressive. You know what I mean?
Because, well, Stallone at that time, he was coming off two flops with Oscar and
don't tell my mom I'm gonna shoot or something like that.
Yeah, don't tell mom I'm gonna come. But
what? Because I heard him first. I said, hold on.
Keitel was off of Reservoir Dogs by now.
Well, and Harvey Keitel is, I mean, we're talking like Mean Streets and stuff like that. Like he's already a solid actor at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Liotta's off of Goodfellas.
Yep.
And De Niro, like, fuck, what was De Niro?
I know. What had De Niro done at this time? I don't know. Fucking everything of value almost.
Yeah.
Because this is what, 96, 97?
Yeah, it was released in 97, so it would have been filmed around 96.
Yeah, so he's even done Casino by this point.
Yeah, so.
And Goodfellas.
Yeah, and I really liked, I'm assuming it was, his toupee, but I really liked De Niro's toupee with the salt and pepper on there. Like, he looked fucking good. Like, that was one of my favorite lines, and he was like, "I gave you a chance to be a cop, and you blew it. You blew it.
You blew it!"
Is that how he sounded? Sounded kind of like a chipmunk.
Are you fucking kidding me right now? Now you're put first. Let's talk about this. Next week's episode, I may or may not be on, and you're looking to replace me. Now you're putting me down. Putting me down.
I gotta set the audience up for when you're suddenly not here, and they go, "Oh, you mean? I mean, there seemed to have been some friction. Now he's not in the picture, so he's dropping the ball." We see we're softening the ground, right? We're getting the audience ready for the exit of Scott Vega in the introduction of a possibly entirely new co-host. So it's just strategy, baby. It's just strategy.
That's why you're a director, right? You see, you're planning ahead. But in terms of, before we actually get into Ray, this film is what made me become a James Mangold fan.
Yeah,
And
man.
like I can say he has not disappointed me with a film he's released after this. But I will, put the caveat, I have not watched Kate and Leopold because rom-com.
Yo,
But
didn't it get nominated for a fucking Oscar?
maybe
Like an Academy
I don't
Award?
know.
I was like, how? I was like scrolling through the list. I was like, really? I mean, I might have to watch it just to see like was it for editing, or like it could be for costuming. I didn't look it up, but it might be for costume because it's a crossover period piece, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's like a guy from the past who comes to the future.
Yeah, like a Prince Charming who comes to be like a prince in New York City.
Again, I didn't watch it because rom-com, and
Mm-hmm.
you can listen to any episode released on February, and you can see my views on a rom-com.
What is your favorite? Is this your favorite Mangold film, or
Mangold? No, it's not my favorite. Like Ford versus Ferrari is like fucking, like right fucking up there.
I mean, he also did 3:10 to Yuma,
which we also discussed and I fucking love as well.
You can actually check out our podcast on Goodfellas and 3:10 to Yuma if you want, because we're going to be referencing those films. Well, we're referencing the director. Obviously, Goodfellas is the Liotta, De Niro, Scorsese fucking masterpiece, right? So
yeah, like I think Identity doesn't get a lot of love, but I really like that, and that was in the whole like M. Night like phenomenon where every movie had to have a fucking twist. But I thought the twist in that one was all right, and
sort of like the twist in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
You are high as a fucking kite.
What?
What?
Have you? That has nothing to do with fucking Identity. Have you ever even seen Identity?
No.
You fuck. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, and you want to replace me? Fuck you. He also did a movie with Tom Cruise, Night and Day. That I would say that's probably my least favorite one was Night and Day, because I really didn't find a lot of chemistry between Cruise and Diaz. But
yeah,
other than that, man, I would say my favorite of his is Logan.
Yeah, because you like the superhero stuff. He's also directing the upcoming 5th Indiana Jones, which hopefully is better than Crystal Skull, which is awful. Fucking awful. Yeah, let's get into this film though, man. Like, what do you like about it? It's like a noir police drama, gritty New
Western.
York.
Yeah. The thing that I enjoyed the most about this film was the pacing. I think this was one of.
Would you call it slow burn?
But that's the thing. It's only an hour and 45 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it's not really a slow burn. Because
it burns at the appropriate pace.
Yes, it enthralls you from the beginning, right? Like you have the thing. Like my only kind of critique I would have it is that one little like flashback they have about like what happened like 25 years prior. But I think what they did really well, and especially Mangold, because he wrote the film, was he let the dialogue kind of fill you in on what the hierarchy of everybody was, as well as what was going on. So you didn't really need that many like flashbacks or like long drawn out exposition
or like voiceover narrative or obvious.
Well, you can't say that because there it opens and closes with a voice.
Yeah. But opposed to like where it's like the director is like, the story will tell itself. The audience isn't stupid. We have all the information there. We're going to just let these characters interact and you'll get the picture, instead of being like, in case you missed it, meh, in case you missed it, meh. You know what I mean? I agree with you. Like, you just kind of like feel that world out, the way characters interact with each other, or like you said, like just the way the dialogue is written, right? So
yeah, and like I would say the one thing I am surprised about this film and is that it really was not nominated for anything whatsoever. Right? It won one award, and that was For Stallone. And it was like I out of a film festival, so not one.
I think it was Stockholm, the Stockholm Film Festival.
So yeah, which to me, especially with this cast and everything like that. But then when you look at what it was going to be up against, so it would have been up against Boogie Nights, Good Will Hunting, Titanic, and Titanic fucking took everything. So
I'm the king of the world!
you know, that's your can for a moment. You never go up against a fucking Canadian, especially when his last name's Cameron.
Yeah. You're right though. Like, but I mean, it could have done better at the Indie Spirit Awards or something like some of the smaller run stuff. I think that budget still qualifies at 15 million. It's gritty. I like it. I mean, actually, this is a great place to throw my quote in. Jason Bailey, Flavor Wire. Copland holds up as a pretty good little thriller, a Sidney Lumet movie in a Martin Scorsese's in a Martin Scorsese movie's clothing. So it's got the Martin Scorsese kind of aesthetic. I mean, half the fucking cast has been in a Scorsese film at some point. And Sidney Lumet is he directed like Dog Day Afternoon and Serpico. Again, kind of that New York gritty cop drama was kind of like what he also did 12 Angry Men. So I think it's a great film. I actually really like Stallone playing the more subtle role, like the subtle drama role. I wish he would have done more of those kind of roles, because I think it showcases his acting and shows that he actually can act when he is required to. You know what I mean?
Yes, we've discussed this before, especially like in our Rocky episode when I was saying like I was surprised he never got anything for Creed, like actually win for Creed. But yeah, like especially throwing on the 40 pounds, right? Like that was my, like, when the only time you actually saw him like kind of be the Superman was in the one scene where they're running after Michael Rappaport and he just like overtakes Ray Liotta, right? But then you kind of think about it story-wise, character-wise, like Ray Liotta, technically he was like most likely high on cocaine and a bunch of other drugs, so he wasn't really.
Liotta's character plays like, late in Goodfellas, how fucked up Henry Hill is. He's like coked out, he's spun out all the time, except Henry Hill's got a few weighs a little bit less. But that was the character he's like channeling in this role, like fucking a bit spun out, kind of smoking right down to the filter, super intense. And Ray Liotta played that kind of role to a T. Like he's fantastic at being that guy. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like he did an amazing job. And especially when like, well, this movie is like fucking, super old, so we can spoil it. Like you have the scene where he was arguing with Harvey Keitel's character, and then all of a sudden his house is on fire.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend was burned to death and he didn't know that she was there. But then you kind of feel bad for him, and the way the pacing was, the way it was written, you're thinking it's fucking them going after him because he had that altercation to keep his mouth shut, and then you find out he just wanted
the money,
the insurance money.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then you have that reveal where it's like literally he goes from white hat to black hat, like just standing in the dark, like I got rid of all the evidence, so you're not going to find anything, right? And then he thanks Stallone for thank you for
kind of the misdirection.
Yeah, he was like, thank you for being on the ball and doing all that paperwork very, very quickly and organized and sending that in for me, right?
Yeah.
But then he has his like
he redeems himself.
He has that moment at the end, and that's it, right?
Yeah, it's too bad that he's passed away. I'm glad, it sounds like it was a kind of a peaceful thing in his sleep and everything. I like seeing him in roles. He was good as a supporting actor as well in Blow, as Johnny Depp's father or whatever. Like he had a lot of gravitas. He was good on the screen. Even in Minority Report with Seth Rogen, CanCon moment, playing kind of the shitty cop, the real cop that shows up and like, has sex with the girl that, Seth Rogen wants, and tries to get Seth Rogen basically like beat up by dropping him off at like, what is it, like the 5 points or whatever. And that just inspires him to be a cop. Like Ray Liotta was good at playing kind of like the shady cop,
Yeah. Well, he Oh my god, I'm having it was Shades of Blue, right? That
I
was
think so.
that was the show with Jennifer Lawrence where the twist was he was like the captain or whatever, but he was also like closet gay, and then that was the big like ratings draw that they did was his first male on male kiss on that show, and he was like there was nothing to it, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't know why it was a big deal, but yeah, I hear you. He was in, but he still had, even though he has passed, he's going to have a lot of films that are going to be released post-mortem, because he had like 4 or 5 in the can already that are just in different development stages, so
Yeah,
you're still going to see him for a while.
he was filming when he passed away, right? Down in the Caribbean. So
Yeah, now they haven't said what it was, right? Like
I thought he just went to sleep and didn't wake up.
yeah, but if it was like heart
Like a
attack
heart
where he
attack or
slapped,
whatever.
or yeah, like they haven't, to me, I haven't seen that, but
I don't know. If you want that kind of info, you can turn into TMZ. They do that shit on the reg, right? So
I thought that's what we
no, man, we talk about the important shit. We're not talking about like how people died or what's going on or whatever. Yeah, man, I really like the pacing of this film. I like the acting. I think it's such a great, if you like police drama, you got to watch this film. Like, I think there's not a whole lot to say. Like I said, you've got Stallone, Keitel, Liotta, De Niro. Like, it's fucking solid, man. It's a solid cast. It's well shot, great script. Even Deborah Harry, for those who don't know, the lead singer of Blondie, has a cameo role just as the bartender in the cop bar, the Four Aces. So keep a lookout for her.
really, that's what you got.
I think that's
Okay.
fucking super cool. That's fucking
Okay.
That's so New York. Technically they're in New Jersey, because that's the whole premise, right? It's like they work in New York City, but they live outside of New York in New Jersey, or live in New Jersey. Do you recommend this movie? If so, to whom?
I do recommend it, and to people that like good movies, especially if you want to watch a film that if you got an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, all right, that's gonna keep you interested from beginning to end, and then be like, fuck, I am super surprised they have never made a sequel for this movie. This is the
Or
movie
remade it.
I still think it's too young to remake, right? 97, that's what, 20 years?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so it's still too young for a remake, right? And James Mangold is just going to blow up even more, so just watch his early work.
Unless he fucks up yet another Indiana Jones, and then
But you can't fuck up Crystal Skull, right? You can't fuck it up.
This is true. So, I mean, Crystal Skull managed to be worse than Temple of Doom, which I actually don't hate Temple of Doom. So yeah, basically, as long as Harrison Ford shows up and does whip stuff, it's going to be better than, whips it good. It's going to be better than Crystal Skull. So
I say whip it. Whip it good.
Well, and but
Right.
I was gonna say, and Shia LaBeouf ain't in this one, so apparently he doesn't have a kid anymore either.
When you're
So-
walking in the forest, Shia LaBeouf. Do you got anything else? Have you not seen that music video?
No.
Oh my God, look up the Shia LaBeouf music video, where it's basically like whoever the band is, that's the chorus, like, when you're walking in the forest, Shia LaBeouf, yada yada yada, Shia LaBeouf, and then they've got like all these like big headed dummies that look like Shia LaBeouf, and then at the very end,
Is it like a meme video?
no, man, just fucking look up.
Or
the
is an
Shia
actual
LaBeouf. It's
or
a
is an
fucking
actual
music
song?
video. It's a music video with an actual song. Check out the Shia LaBeouf music video. I don't know how the fuck we're talking about a Shia LaBeouf music video about Copland. Do you have anything else you want to talk about with this film?
This film in general. Let's see.
It's got a 75 from critics, 67 from the audience. I'm surprised by that. I mean, I wonder if people were expecting more like shooty, bangy. But I mean, there's a wicked fucking shootout in this too. So I don't know.
That I do want to, like, another thing, like, yes, because you just reminded me right now, that fucking shootout, the way that was done, but also the way they did the sound where you're literally deaf, like Sylvester Stallone's character, and you don't hear the gun cock, right? And it's
right.
just him just reacting with his eyes, so he doesn't really know where everything's going, and then he's just like boom, boom, boom.
Well, and I love how they foreshadow that he's actually a fucking pretty amazing shot.
Yeah,
like earlier in
with
the film.
the fair scene when they're like, oh, it's 5 out of 6, you got to hit the star, and then he misses the first one and doesn't miss again.
Bam, bam, bam. So check it out, man. Watch your Copland. Get it on. Let us know what you think.
And that is our wrap for the day. Please like and subscribe to this podcast. Tell your friends. If you want to get a hold of us, reach us at the www.howdyoulikethatmovie.com.
That'd be a good series, actually. Because that whole town, that whole cop village town that they've created in Jersey, like you could have a whole like limited series based on that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially like when you find the reveal that that town was made by the mob just so they have a fucking precinct in their bag, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we should do a pitch document and go to the streaming.
Oh, I'm sorry,
services.
you've replaced me, so you don't get these.
I don't get the free creative anymore.
You don't get the free creative. Fuck you.
Oh, fuck you,
Right?
too, Scott. Production by Rod Shaver, Vader Monkey Productions.